Today, I am going to show you how to create a Tripwire funnel. To help you understand what a Tripwire funnel is, you'll see here we have the opt-in page. So if you're using your free community, we would want to say, join our free community for whatever it is that you want to offer them in the free community. Now, when they opt in, we're automatically going to start sending them emails because most people who opt in here are not going to make a purchase, but hopefully some of them do. And regardless of whether they make a purchase or not, we want to make sure that we are following up with them. So you could segment your list, and we'll talk about like building out the automation tomorrow. Today, I just wanted to help you understand how to create the Tripwire funnel and hopefully help you start thinking about what type of offers you would want to build into your Tripwire. So they're opting in for a free community. When they've opted in, they're going into our system and we're going to send them emails. Now, immediately before they even go to the thank you page, when they opt in, we're going to upsell them on something. So this is going to be the first time that we offer a product. Now, some people will tell you to offer your main offer here on this page, and some people will tell you to offer the main offer on the Downsell page. So it's up to you, whichever strategy you want to use. There are many successful businesses that use both. So you just want to think about the offer that they're going to be sent to, and then something that is of a lower value. So if you decide to put the low value option here, and then your high value option here, or vice versa, again, that's really just a strategy. Maybe you want to try split testing both options, but just to help you understand, let's say they've opted in for the free community. And if we wanted to offer a lower value than our main offer here, what we would offer is maybe one single tool in our tool suite. Or maybe we would want to offer like the snapshot or something like that, maybe $7 to like $47, something low ticket in that sense. And then if they purchase that, they would go to this offer where they could get the entire tool suite. Or you could offer your main offer here, like all of your tools. And then if they say no, thank you, send them to the Downsell page where maybe they'll just purchase the lower option. So if we're talking about the 3 plans that we create in our 4-hour workday strategy, it would look something like opt in for our free community. They're going to opt in and you're going to tell them, hey, get all of our tools at this particular price. Now they can either purchase that and go to the thank you page, or they could say no, thank you, and then go to the Downsell page where you will sell them a limited plan. So maybe this plan is the done for you services. They say no, thank you. You send them to the DIY services, and then they can choose to purchase that or not. And then again, we're going to send them to the thank you page where we're going to make sure to deliver this thing that they opted in for free, as well as give them instructions on how to access either the upsell or the downsell thing that they've purchased. So it makes it really easy if we are using our community, because we're just granting them access to the community. And then when we go to the thank you page, we can actually have them click a button to join the community, or like I recommend on the thank you page saying, check your email for access to whatever it is that you purchase, because really we want to make sure that they have given us a valid email for one, but also we want to make sure that they go to the inbox and they open our email and they click in our email, because that's going to help our email reputation. So hopefully you'll understand the process. So let's dive into the account here and go to my funnel, and I am going to create this blank. So we're going to say Tripwire and create. Now the first step here, like we said, it's going to be our opt-in page for the community. So I'm just going to say opt-in. Go ahead and choose a path here. We'll just call this opt-in and create funnel. Now I am going to duplicate these pages, but before I do any duplication, I want to just go ahead. I'm going to create from blank. And I'm going to pull in any headers or footers that I have. Now, I love to go to the save sections here, and you can see like universal sections. I am in my demo account, but I do have a universal section that's the header of like a lead gen funnel, and then the footer of a lead gen funnel. But since I don't have any of that here, let's just go for pre-built sections, and let's look for, I think there's one for a header. Okay, so let's say that this is our menu here, even though it's that big one there. And then let's say that this is our footer. I'm just going to grab that. And we would want to save these. Okay, so I'm going to save this as my universal footer. And then this is going to be my universal header. Now, remember the difference between the header for universal and for global and template. When we save this, you'll see the section templates. That's what we're saving if we just want to use it just like a template where we can pull it in anywhere in our account and we want to be able to edit it, but it's not going to affect any of the other funnels that we have this located in. If it's a global section, then we can actually save it, and anytime we update that on any of the pages within this funnel, it will update as well. So that would be a global section at the funnel level. Now, universal is a step above that. So we can actually create it and not just use it in this funnel, but we can actually use it anywhere in our sub account. So if I save this here for header and I save it as a universal section, now this can be my main header. And all I have to do when I'm creating new funnels is just pull in that header and that footer. Now, I'm just going to add that there. Let's go ahead and just add like a section here. So we'll just say a full width section. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. Now, before we move on, though, we're going to save, acknowledging that that is universal. We always want to make sure to check the mobile view and make sure that it's set up on mobile, because we certainly don't want to have to go back and do a bunch of editing. So now we've created this opt-in page. And of course, on the opt-in page, we need to have a form. So I'm just going to add in a column here, and we'll click here and let's just add in the form. We can choose whatever form we want to use, and we'll go ahead and save. So those are all of the elements that we need to have on this opt-in page. Now here, we're going to talk about the community. We're going to talk about whatever it is we're offering in the community, how it's going to be beneficial to them. We're going to talk about all of the members in our community and all of those things. Let's go ahead and back out. And now we want to create the next page here. So I'm going to just clone this funnel step in this funnel. And I'm going to go to publishing here, and we're going to rename this. This is going to be our upsell page. So I'm going to change the path here. We're going to call this upsell and update. Now here, we don't need to worry about the headers and footers. We've already added that. What we need to do is open this up, and we don't need a form here because they've opted in. So we'll have our header here. We'll have our footer here, and then we'll have this section here. In this area, we probably shouldn't have these things here because we just want this as the header. But you'll see when I edit that, if I go back to this page here for the opt-in, you'll see that edit has been made there as well. That's because we use the global header. So here we need to tell them about the offer. So we have this here. Let's go to column and let's add some text. Go. All right. So this is going to be thank you, whatever their name is. So I'm going to hold down Shift and click on the little curly bracket there. We could go to contact and use a custom value for their first name. So we're going to say thank you, and we're going to explain to them that they now have access to the community and whatever else. Now here is where we're going to tell them all about the upsell. So if we are using our 4-hour workday strategy and they're opting in for our community, we're going to say, thank you, whatever their name is. Now here are the tools. Now I'm just putting that in. It's super generic and you don't want to write that. But the goal is we're offering all the training and whatever else in the free community. When they opt in for the free community, we're going to explain to them, great, you have access to all of this training. Now, if you want access to the tools, go ahead and click here. We can even add like a little, let's go to the pre-built sections and let's go to the plan selection. And let's say that we want to choose these plans here. So now we're offering for them to purchase the package. Now, I said before, we probably want to just offer them the done for you service. So I'm just going to delete this here, and we just have this one plan. We want to make it super, super simple. So we're offering them this one plan. Now we have to have a way for them to get out of this funnel. So what I'm going to do is add a little column here, and we're going to add a button. And here, instead of click to sign up, we're going to say, no, thank you. All right. And we can put an arrow or something like that. We could say here, I just want the free community. Because we want to make crystal clear they opted in for the free thing. We don't want them to feel like they're not going to get that free thing that they opted in for. So they opt in. On the opt-in page, they come to this page and we're saying, thank you. Now, here are all the tools and whatever else we want to say to sell it. We have this one plan. We're giving them the main plan that we want them to take, the done for you. And we're giving them this option here to say, no, thank you. I just want the free community, because we want to remind them you still get that free community, but we're just offering you this in addition to that. So that is the upsell page. Now, if we're offering our main done for you plan here, then on the next page, that would be our downsell. So they're saying, no, thank you. I just want the free community. And we're offering our highest tier plan. And let's just change the price here just to make it clear. Let's say $547 is this plan. And they're saying, no, thank you. And they're going to the downsell page. So now we need to create the downsell page. So same situation here. I'm just going to copy the upsell page again. We're going to clone it in this funnel. Now we need to rename it. So we're going to call this downsell. Go ahead and change this. And we're going to open up the editor here. So here, we're going to erase this because we don't really need to say thank you, because they've just said no thank you to our offer. I'm just going to put downsell here just so that you recognize that this is the downsell page. And I'm going to say, now here is the DIY plan. So if our opt-in page is the free community, our upsell page is our done for you plan, our downsell page is going to be the DIY plan. So maybe this plan is $147. So they've seen our top tier plan, they've said no thank you, and they've gone to this page here. Now here, they still might say no thank you. And that's why going to the free community is perfect, because we want to educate them on all of the tools, because obviously they're not ready to buy yet. And that's okay. Most people are not going to be ready to buy yet, especially if they've never heard of you before. But sending them to our free community allows them to, like I said, be educated on our product and service. So I'm going to say no thank you. And then, of course, we need to send them to a thank you page. So that's the last page in this funnel. So let's make the thank you page. We can just clone this again. And let's go ahead and rename it first. It's going to be thank you. Thank you. And then here on the thank you page, we're going to give them instructions on how to claim whatever it is that we offered them. So this is going to be thank you. And we'll say, here is how you get your stuff. That is the technical word. You should definitely word it exactly like that. Here's how you get your stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this because obviously we don't need any plans or any of that stuff. We could have here, go to the dashboard or whatever. So here I would just say, check your email for your login credentials. We could even delete this if we want to, and save. Now let's go back to the first page and let's make sure that all of this stuff is connected correctly. We've created all the pages. Now let's go into the opt-in. And the very first thing that we want, and make sure you're following along with our process here, and just to refresh your mind, they are opting in. And of course, into the form, we're sending them to the upsell page. If they decide to say no, thank you, they don't want the upsell, we're going to send them to the downsell. If they decide to say no, thank you to that offer as well, we're just going to send them to the thank you page so they can get access to the free community. So inside here, want to make sure this form is going to go to the correct place. Remember, they fill out the form and they're going to go to the next step. And the next step is the upsell page. So that is correct. Now, the next thing we need to do is go to the upsell page. And of course, here's where we're selling our done for you plan. If they decide to say no, thank you, we're going to send them to the downsell page. So instead of open a pop-up, we're going to go to the next step. And you'll see here, the next step is the downsell. So that's correct. Now we're going to go to the downsell page. So I'm just going to do that here. And remember, so far, they've opted in for the free community. We've offered them our done for you plan. They've said no, thank you. Now we're sending them to the DIY plan where they can decide to purchase or not. And if they decide not, we're going to send them to the thank you page. So we're going to change this button to next step. And again, you can see the next step is the thank you page. Now, we want to make sure as well, when they do make a purchase, that they are going to the correct page as well. In this case here, it looks like the form is on a pop-up. So we would want to go to that pop-up. We want to add a column here. Let's add our form, or our order form rather. We'll just say a one-step checkout. And when we click on that form, you'll see sale actions goes to the next step. So again, downsell, the next step is thank you. So we're good to go. Now remember, we did have that upsell page. We want to make sure because that also has an order form and we want to make sure that we have set that. So clicking the button here, it goes to the pop-up. So we want to go to the pop-up. Want to click here to edit the pop-up. We're going to add a row. And we need to add an order form now. So I'm going to scroll down and add the order form. We need to click into the form and make sure that the sale action goes to the next step. So we have our opt-in page with the form going to the upsell page. The upsell page has an order form that when they make the purchase goes to the thank you page. Actually, I'm glad that I'm talking this out with you guys. When they purchase this, we don't want them to go to the downsell page. They need to go to the thank you page. So we need to go to the sale actions. It needs to go to a step, and it's going to be the thank you page. So let's just go through this again because I hope I didn't confuse you. So we have our opt-in page. We have the form. The form, once it's submitted, is going to the next step. The next step is the upsell page. The upsell, if they say no thank you, we are going to send them to the next step, which is the downsell page. If they decide to purchase, they're going to click that button, go to the pop-up. They're going to make the purchase, and then we are going to send them, click here in the form. There we go. So we're going to send them to the thank you page. Now, if they decide to say no thank you to the upsell offer, again, we're going to send them to the downsell page. They can say no thank you to this offer, and we're going to send them to the next step, which is the thank you page. If they decide to purchase this, we want to open up this pop-up where the order form is. We want to click there, and we want to make sure that if they purchase this item here, that they are going to the thank you page or the next step, because on the downsell offer, the next step is the thank you page. I want to talk to you about how to create the workflows and automations for a Tripwire funnel. Now we need to create our products for the upsell and the downsell. So before we get into creating the products, I want to explain to you, if I click here inside this demo account, you'll see there is no option to create a SaaS plan. Now, this is what people will see if you're on the HighLevel $97 or $297 plan. You're not going to see the SaaS option here. You need to be on the SaaS plan with HighLevel to have access to the SaaS configurator. Now, when you are on the SaaS plan, you want to go to your agency admin dashboard and you'll go to SaaS configurator. You'll see here in the configure setting, this is where you want to choose the account that you're going to be managing your SaaS products in. Once you choose that, if you go into the product here, now you see a new option here that says use as a SaaS product. So this will allow me to configure the SaaS product, and you'll see I can come down here and toggle this on here for the SaaS product. You'll see all of these SaaS configurator options here. So I'll be able to put my plans in a category. I'll be able to choose usage limits, what features I want in this plan. I can add a snapshot. I can add complimentary credits, and I can set all the rebilling rates here. So if you are not on the SaaS plan, that means you'll just have to do this manually. So you'll create the product. And then if someone signs up for an account, you'll have to create the user and the location. And then you'll just toggle on the permissions of whatever tools you want them to have access to. So the SaaS plan automates this process. I just wanted to explain to you the difference there so that you understand that. Now I'm going to close out of this because we're just going to go through this process as if we are creating a standard product, because at the product level, it's going to be the same workflows that we're going to enable here. Now, if this is set up in the SaaS configurator, there are emails in the agency dashboard, and when a SaaS plan is purchased, it will send that data to your HighLevel agency admin account, and it will create the location, the user, all the permissions, load the snapshot there, and send them an email so they get access. So if you're not on the SaaS plan, it's the same process. You just need to do that manually. So you'll see here, if I go to create, for example, my DIY plan, if you toggle this on, this means it'll show up in your online store if you have one of those created. I'm just going to keep this DIY. We can add a description here. We can add some tags or a global tags. We want to choose our price here, and then we can save that. And then if you are syncing this to Stripe or PayPal, you'll see that option up here. It's really easy to create your products. So now what we want to do is we want to create our first workflow. On the form, we're offering them our free community. So we could use the workflow AI if we really wanted to, but I'm just so used to this that I could do this in my sleep, so I'll just do it manually. Now here I want to create the form. So this is my trigger for this workflow, and so I'm going to choose basic form. So now I need to decide what's going to happen when they submit this form. The main goal is to grant them access to our community if that's the free thing that we're offering. So I'm going to choose group here, and we're going to grant group access because communities are also called groups. So I'm going to choose that. Now, if I have any courses that I want them to access, I can choose grant course offer. And then we could choose that as well. So now they're submitting the form, we're granting them access to our group, and then the courses inside of our group or community, same thing. And we could also add a tag here. So let's add a tag, and we'll just say this tag is going to be community. Now, if you don't know how to use tags, use them, thank me later. You just want to create a tag so that when you see this contact, whether it's today or 5 years from now, you know that they came through this workflow because they have that community tag. So I'm going to save that now. So this is what we want to happen here when we're granting them access, but we do need to send them an email. So we're going to send them an email here, and we can say whatever we want in the email, like, hey there, we'll use first name custom value, and here's the community, and here's all these amazing things. And here is the link to access the community. So we're just going to go and grab that client portal contact magic link. Now, just so that you guys know, the client portal is the membership website that houses the affiliate management system, your communities, your courses, any billings and subscriptions and documents, and all those things are all housed within the client portal. So when they get access to the client portal, because we've granted them access here, they're going to log in and they will only see the courses and the community. So if you have an affiliate campaign that you want them to be added to, you have to also add that here in the workflows. If you have another section in the community, or maybe more courses or multiple communities, you have to make sure to grant them access to all of that. And they will only be able to see and access whatever you have granted them access to inside the client portal. Everyone will get access to the same link to the client portal. It will just be custom to them and based on whatever they have been granted access to. So here's the main email here. The subject line here is your link, and save it. Now we could add a wait step because remember they've opted in for the free community. So we maybe want to wait like 1 day, and then we could send them another email and so on. So the next thing we need to do is, if you look at our funnel here, let me close this out. You'll see that we have the upsell, the downsell, and the thank you. So we've already created the opt-in workflow. Now we need the upsell workflow. So here's our products that we have. And if our upsell is going to be the done for you, let's go ahead and select that. So we're going to create a workflow. We're going to start from scratch. And we're going to call this our upsell. And we can actually say Tripwire again, just to stay organized. And here it's going to be when they purchase that product. So let's choose order submitted, global product is, and then we want to choose our done for you product. Now, the way that this is set up is this is going to trigger anytime this product is purchased. So if you have your DIY, done with you, done for you products and separate workflows, just keep in mind that would trigger and this would trigger. So you really only need one workflow for each of your products. So let's imagine you do not have this product in any workflows based off the trigger of the purchase of this product. So now here we want to, again, add a tag. We'll say add a contact tag. And we'll say this is done for you. We'll just say it's this one and save. Now here, what we want to do is send an email. Now, if we're on the SaaS plan, we don't necessarily need to send an email because the system will send the email granting them access to the dashboard. So we don't need to send this email. But let's say that we also have a community. Even if you have a custom menu tab here where you have access to your community, you still need to grant access to the community. That is not automated through the SaaS plan. So we're going to choose group again, and we're going to grant them access to the group. And we're also going to grant them access to the course, just like we did before. But this is where strategy comes into play. So we sent them through that opt-in workflow first. So we granted them access to a community. Now, I only have one community in here. So you want to keep that in mind. They've already gotten access to that community. So if you have a different community or different courses for your paid members, that's where you want to choose that here. So if demo 1 was for my free members, maybe demo 2 needs to be for my paid members, and I want to make sure to select that. Now, if I just have one community and I'm just inviting them all to it, I obviously don't need this step because we've already done that in step 1. So if none of this is needed, of course, like I said, we don't need to add this. We're just adding the tag. Now, that is really essentially all we need to do, as long as, again, like I said, we want to send an email. So if you're not on the SaaS plan, you want to send them an email and say, here is how you access your account, and here is access, and save. All right. We'll save again. And let's go ahead and go back to the workflows, because now we need one more workflow here. And this one is going to be the downsell. So let's copy this and we'll say downsell. And here again, they're going to purchase the product that is our downsell. So if our downsell is the DIY plan, we'll just select that here. And then again, we want to do the same thing. If we have different communities we want to grant them access to, if we have a different tag, if we have a different email that we want to send them, obviously we need to send them an email unless it's all going through the SaaS configurator. So you're just building that out here. Of course, you can update your opportunity pipelines. You can add affiliate campaigns. You can add additional tags. You can send the data to a webhook, a Google Sheet, use any of these options here. And that's literally the entire process. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. And I will see you all tomorrow. Go make your vision a reality. Bye.